as you may remember from my past videos on my YouTube channel, Instagram and TikTok, I've talked once about the Xserve and the macOS 10 server separate software line. And to be honest, to find a really working macOS 10 server ISO or a DVD installer is a really rare piece of thing. And you know what? I succeeded doing this. Apparently, I found the macOS 10 server Tiger Developer Preview install city. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Peter Rigord and I'm from VMflame YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video with your friends and put a like so you can watch more videos. And now, let's dive in. I'm about to install the macOS 10 server 10.4 Developer Preview on my G4 iBOOK from 2003. So, let's buckle in. It's all about VMflame Incorporated.
So here's what we need to do first prior to make any crazy installation sensation. So now we need to turn on the computer, insert the city and find the proprietary document with the license key, which we'll be using later to set up this macOS 10 server copy on our device. You see, the macOS 10 server stable releases, they have license keys which are publicly available. But this specific macOS 10 version has its own license key, which is right on the city, so we don't need to do a lot of digging in the inner wraps or in the files. Apparently, the one more thing we also have to do is to also set the time back, because apparently the license key we'll be using has the date certificates. So we'll set the date back to 2001 so we can actually use this license key to set up our macOS 10 server installation. So now let me perform all the operations and let's start the crazy installation, because I'm thrilled to see what's in there.
So now we're going to be entering the boot picker. Yep, here we go. So let's select the macOS 10 server install disk. Yeah, it's waiting for some time. Yeah, in fact, this is an old boot picker. I don't know if you see it pretty well. So now, I don't know what's the reason of it waiting for so long. Okay, the draw disk has been selected. So now let's hit the arrow. And now let's get it booted. So the boot times are really long because it's not booting from a SSD, which is actually inside this device, but from the CD, the installed DVD. So that's why the booting times will be extremely long. But I hope this will be not too long. Keep in mind it's 10 p.m. down here, so yeah, now we should see the setup screen of this thing. Yep, don't be afraid of these sounds. Yeah, it's just checking the CD for the components so it actually can boot into the setup assistant of the installer. So here's what we are about to do now. We're now about to erase the hard disk in this computer. We're going to completely wipe it out because, yeah, keep in mind, back in 2000s, you couldn't just add a partition on top of the existing partitions on your hard disk. Our main concern is actually going to the disk utility. Yep, it's gonna take a while because keep in mind, it's a freaking CD install DVD. So now it's gonna load all of the disks we actually have on this computer. So yep, this is the 60 gigabyte SSD. So we're gonna erase it. We're gonna perform a erase of this SSD. We're gonna call it the Macintosh HD. Damn, I love this keyboard so much. So we're gonna set it to macOS Extended Journal. Let's erase the body. Nothing important is stored in here, and I have a lot of installations planned for this device, so nothing bad is happening. Thankfully, it's not my daily driver, you know. Like I did back in 2021 when I've been erasing and wiping out my mid-2012 15-inch MacBook Pro when I've been installing the macOS 10 Lion via internet recovery, and I lost a lot of files back then. But thankfully, I'm a lot older now. So let's see also if this is an APFS, if this is an Apple partition table. I hope it is, because there's actually no place you can select for it to be Apple's partition map. So now let's queue out of the disk utility. Now let's proceed with installation. So now let's continue, continue again, continue once more, agree, options. Oh, we could erase it from here, but I prefer doing that via disk utility so we can actually customize a couple of things. So now we selected the installation destination. So now let's customize. So let's install every single thing because I like seeing so many stuff being installed on my computer. So now let's hit install, and now the installation of this thing will take a really long time, and it's checking my install DVD for some reason, but it's an Apple's official DVD, so that is why there's no reason for you to check this pile of technology. So now it's gonna be installing this thing on this computer. Yeah, it'll be extremely long because keep in mind it's not just a bootable USB or an internet-based installation. It's a freaking DVD.
Just for the record, I'll fast forward all the installation progresses because it's taken a really long time. Total installation time took me over 1.5 hours. So that is why let me fast forward to the end of the installation and right to the restart.
So, as you may see now, we're actually finishing the installation progress. I don't know if we're actually gonna see the intro video or not, but I expect it to happen. So, let's hope for the best.
Sadly, we didn't see any intro videos, which I was really expecting for and I really like them, but it's not the main problem. So now we need to find our license key, which we need actually to enter in one of the first steps during the setup assistant. So we'll set up the server, the system overall, and now let's switch to the desktop, because desktop is actually a little bit different from a stable macOS 10 version. So let's take a look at this together.
So this is basically our desktop, and this is actually how it all looks. So as you may see, since this is a developer preview, we have the Panther wallpaper, but it's slightly gray. So it's not just the blue wallpaper we see in macOS 10 Panther stable releases, but it's actually gray because this is a server and it actually makes sense. So contrary to the typical macOS version, the desktop is actually different. So we don't see here, even like comparing to the macOS 10 version, we don't see here any of the typical apps. The only thing we see is the Safari and the Finder, terminal, and a trash bin. So earlier I already used to deal with macOS 10 server. For example, on my YouTube channel, you may find the macOS 10 server installation and setup video, link in description, and also the macOS 10 10.6 server demo, also link in description. But this system is kind of a mystery to me because this is the Tiger server and this is a developer preview. So now let's open system preferences and see, there's actually no macOS 9 Classic environment built in. So I also thought of inserting the CD to install the macOS 9 additional components, but we don't really need this because I'm not really sure if it's gonna work actually on this OS and this developer preview and if it's gonna function properly. So we're gonna leave that for the last, just in case something goes wrong, we can repair it right on the go. So now let's take a look on the desktop on the screensaver. Maybe there are some pretty cool wallpapers out there. So this is the classic aqua blue, and this is the classic aqua graphite. In fact, the graphite line has been created not only for the gray user interface, in case you select the gray as the main color accent inside your system, but also for this server software. So now let's get back to the default wallpaper we had before, or let's set this Jaguar Aqua Graphite, because I like this Jaguar wallpaper. That's kind of cool. So now let's take a look on stuff we have in here. But prior to doing this, we need to connect to the Wi-Fi actually. So I have a Wi-Fi, but I don't know if it's actually gonna connect to this computer. So let's just connect to the Wi-Fi and let's try taking a look on what goodies hide inside that server applications. So you see the Wi-Fi password window is different from the casual Wi-Fi window in usual macOS versions. So now let's hit OK. There was an error. Well, so anyway, let's hit cancel because this actually won't make any sense now. So server admin. Let's take a look at what does this thing do. Admin address. Okay, so this is the workgroup manager, so we can actually manage servers on this thing. And in one of my recent short videos, I've been talking about something called Xserve. So I assume this thing should have connected with servers like Xserve or other servers on the network, and then you could actually operate the servers from here from the server admin. So you can change their properties, boot them up, shut them down, install wirelessly different software on them. So I think that's what it's made for. So now let's get out of here because there's nothing really much we can take a look on. So now let's take a look on the workgroup manager. Again, it asked me for the password. Let's hit enter. You're working in the directory mode that is not visible to the network. We know about this. So that allows us to take a look on all the accounts on the server network, which is connected to the server. So, and you know what I really like? These are these icons. I like them so freaking much. I think they predate the macOS 10 design. They were there in the earlier macOS 10 server versions, and I didn't really change those. Keep in mind this is a developer preview. So you know there's also this button I really like in the macOS 10 that is not specific to this developer preview or something like that. Just if you click this, the menu bar minimizes gently and you have this like window design. So now let's get out of here and let's take a look on the server monitor. This is actually a place where we can take a look on the servers, on their activity, on their speeds, and see if there are any errors with the servers within the network. So we can add servers here. So in a perfect version of this, we had the list of the servers which are connected to the network. They're over here, and we can actually see their state currently. So if there are any issues, we can resolve them on a go. So the thing that really caught my attention though, when taking a look on the software, is the system image utility. So we can create a boot image. So we can set an image name. For example, let's say VM image, because I don't really know what it's actually gonna do. Image index, let's say 01, description, random image. Don't ask me about this. So now let's hit create. I don't really know if it's actually gonna handle this via no network presence. Okay, create buddy. Doesn't do anything. That's pretty weird. So the contents, image source. Oh, yep. We need actually to have an image source. So we need to have a random disk image. We can create an image from, or we can actually image this city, install city, then create it as an image like a DMG or ISO, which is gonna spread all over the network so other users can burn these ISO images to their cities and install the software there. So this system image utility is in every macOS 10 server version, as far as I know, and that's actually a pretty cool thing. So the bad thing is that we can't really do something without a network. So let's get out of here. As we have already seen, this entire system is a mystery because this is not just a casual macOS 10 release, this is a server-based macOS 10, and this is a developer preview of the server-based macOS 10. So let's poke around the system and see what goodies hide inside here. So the first place we have to go to actually see what's goodies hide inside here is the applications folder. So the first folder is AppleScript. Usually have here like AppleScript utility, folder action setup, and script editor, but we have here some example scripts. Let's take a look on those. Basics. AppleScript website. No idea if actually gonna go me somewhere. www.apple.com/AppleScript. So we're gonna try real quick entering this on my iPhone. So I don't know if it's actually gonna bring me somewhere. Oh, the page you're looking for can't be found. That seems pretty interesting. That's pretty sad that Apple no longer keeps archives of their old websites. So we can use the Wayback Machine on the Internet Archive, but I'm not sure if this page is actually saved in there. So that's why the hopes are pretty low here, sadly. So let's get back to the scripts folder, example scripts, and now we actually have something pretty interesting. So all this stuff is pretty casual, but we have, for example, some Finder scripts. Yep, add to file names, so pretty basic stuff. But now let's see UI element scripts. For example, we can probe menu bar. Oh, system preferences kicked in for some reason. No idea why. Compile. Yup, no idea if actually what the hell is taking place right now. Yep, I just saw some nice glitching over there. No idea if you saw it. And now let's read the log text. Get every menu bar item. Get every menu of every menu bar item. Get every menu item of every menu of every menu bar item. Get every menu of every menu of every menu of every menu bar item. And the final row is get every menu item of every menu of every menu item of every menu of every menu bar item.
I don't remember when at last I have trained my tongue so well.
So, although this log looks pretty funny, not gonna lie, but the thing that it actually has done is checking for all sub links in the menu bar. For example, if we're gonna go to the script editor and click services and click script editor, yeah, we have some sub options here which are blacked out because they're not available for some reason, but it's all checking the stuff. So now let's get out of here because don't want to save any changes. And system preferences, no need in you being present. Probe window. Yep, system preferences kicked in again for some reason. So now let's see in the log. Tell window 1, get every button, get properties of every button, get every UI element of every button. So it seems to be checking for all the components of the window. So I'm not sure about this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume that this stuff has a lot to do with the beta development stuff. Because keep in mind this is developer beta, developer preview. So yeah, on this channel we'll be tinkering a lot with some developer previews because this is the most interesting stuff for me. Because yeah, taking a look on how something has been made, something that we love has been made, is something really freaking amazing. So now let's queue out of here and queue out of system preferences. So now let's get back to the applications folder. So the next thing that gets my attention is the DVD player. I know it's in the Mac OS, it's in Mac OS 10, but back then it was not in the typical Mac OS 10 release. I mean non-server Mac OS 10. And I didn't really see it in the Mac OS 10 server, I mean later updates, like 10.5 or 10.6 or something. So this is for some cases, if you have, for example, a video CD, so you insert it from the side, and you can actually play videos on this thing. And you have also this pretty nice control window with some control options. For example, you can move around your city. Disk not available. I don't care. I just like clicking this insanely cool trackpad. Yeah, by the way, the keyboard and the trackpad on this iBOOK are so freaking cool. I wish Apple would have made such keyboards and trackpads even now, but Apple tends to minimize all the stuff and remove something we love, you know. But hey, who cares? There's also this nice little pushy thing, which allows us to fold these 6 buttons, which I find pretty nice to be honest. So if we click on it, it doesn't do anything. So we have also the volume bar, eject, title menu. So if we would have inserted a CD in this thing, we could have actually watched something in here, but we don't have any single thing. So now I have this Apple script. Yep, open scripts folder. Nothing pretty yeah, some scripts which are actually connected to the DVD player. So now let's close that window and queue out of the DVD player. Before we queue, just take a look on this nice aluminum shininess. The stuff Apple no longer has. I mean, and also these glossy buttons, they are so freaking sexy. I just wish Apple allowed people to reskin the macOS with this aqua design, but I'm not sure if it's possible now and if Apple really wants this. So now let's get out of here, and the next thing that really got my attention is the graphing calculator. So we don't have any app icon here. Let's see what's in here. Oh, that seems to be like an insanely old version of a grapher. So this is the app which allows us to build the graphs in the macOS. For example, if we're gonna enter the equation, just gonna enter some pretty basic stuff. Let's say, for example, x equals epsilon, or for example, oh shit. Oops, dude. Epsilon minus 3. And maximize by 2. Multiply by 2. So, yep, we have a nice graph over there. Yeah, I know it's pretty basic graph. I'm not good at math, so I can't think of writing some more difficult graphs over here, but man, that's pretty cool. So now let's get out of here. We don't want to save any changes because there's nothing pretty important in here. So Now, the next app, which is not casual for the Mac OS, is Internet Connect. Okay, network, no network selected. Oh, it's asking me for a password. So let's try entering password again, because the last time we tried doing that actually made us fail the operation. Okay, let's hit OK. There was an error joining the airport network. You know, the crazy stuff is that I've been already connecting to this network on different OS versions. For example, I've been connecting to this network from macOS 10 Tiger stable release or from macOS 10 Panther. So I also been connecting to some other networks, for example, in Ukraine or also in Germany, and there was no trouble. But I don't know if it is a software related issue or something, but we're not queued out of this because if we can't connect to the network, we can't really analyze stuff. So let's get out of here. So the next app, which is really freaking suspicious, is a QuickTime Broadcaster. From the macOS 10.6 days, when I've been installing it and demoing it on my channel, I remembered that this thing took an input from the camera and it broadcasted all over the network. I never experienced this actually working, but since we don't have any camera on the iBOOK, yep, it actually doesn't have any camera, we can't really make some broadcasting. So, oh, we can select actually the audio, modem music, modem speech. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Let's click show details. Yep, that's actually a nice window here. Broadcast. Oh, it actually gives the location of that stream. I wonder if I actually can do some real live streaming over this thing. So I'm not really sure, but it actually can work as an OBS streaming application, but we don't have any setup, so we can't really direct the stream we're broadcasting. Network, host name, title. Ah, it actually can. Automatic unicast, manual unicast, and multicast. So apparently this is broadcasting to somewhere. I don't really know where. I can't really say for sure if it has a specific destination or it's using any other server capabilities to actually publish the video. Maybe it's broadcasting only among the servers you have, and then some other people can join and watch it. I'm not really sure about this because I didn't have access to all the documentation on this thing, so let's get out of here. Now let's go to the server folder. No items here. Pretty weird. Let's go to the utilities because the most interesting stuff hides in here. And the first thing that catches my attention is the airport admin utility. And I'm not really sure if actually we can go somewhere because airport base station is no longer a thing and we don't really have some network, so let's get out of here. Airport setup assistant. I love that tuxedo icon really much. It's pretty sexy, you know. This tuxedo icon is in setup assistant even today, and that's actually a cool designing trick by Apple. So this is the airport base, airport extreme, and this is also an airport card. Yeah, kind of like the Pritz power line or something. So it's just a modem. Welcome to the airport setup system. So this thing allows us to set up the airport with the server we actually have. But we don't need that now because airport is no longer a thing, sadly. So audio MIDI setup. Loading. Oh, audio devices. MIDI devices. Oh, IAC driver, network. I don't know any of that stuff. We can actually add some devices to actually share some sound in the network. That seems pretty interesting because the audio MIDI setup window now looks a lot different than back then. So this is the Grab app, which used to be the default screenshotting application in the macOS. And if you wondered about screen recording, we use the QuickTime. So there's a specific method to do this. I can show that later. So now let's go to the Java. 0 items. Nav info manager. Okay, localhost, aliases, administrator, nothing. Hold on a second.
Dumper? Who's dumper? Is someone dumping the computer? Hey buddy, don't be sad, I'm with you. So, open parent. Okay, the mom is coming to play, right? So, protocols, printers, RPCS. No idea what is that. Machines. Oh yeah, we're getting some crafty machines. Broadcast host and local host, and still nothing inside. Oh, we actually have something. We simply need to click the lock to make changes, and we'll need to enter the administrator password. Open parent. The mom's come to the play, lay. The mom's gonna shove the big up. Don't worry, Mac. You don't have a mom. You're in my hands. You're in safety, man. So, yup, we have an IP address. I don't know if this IP address can be used to log into this computer from the network. So anyway, let's go to the network utility. So we can see the info netstat. What is the netstat? Yup, it actually made us some kind of a report on the network right inside this window. Now we can actually test the ping, but it won't do anything. Yep, the ping utility requires an internet access. So now in terminal we need to actually type ping 8.8.8.8 to check the ping connection. But back in the day in the server networks, in the server macOS 10 version, you could actually do that in the network utility application. So we don't need to do any terminal coding stuff. Lookup trace root WA. I don't know how is it called properly. Finger. Please enter a username and a domain address to finger that user. Let's do it. So we're gonna finger one of my email addresses. Finger. No address associated with node name. Pretty sad. I wanted to finger my email address because I want to make some background search on me. Port scanning. Please enter an internet IP address to scan for open ports. Yep, we don't have any internet accesses. Yep, now let's go to the ODBC administrator. Sounds so cool. System DSN. I don't know any of the server stuff and it looks so weird to me. Like, what is a DSN? Connection pooling. Tracing again. Drivers, user DSN. That stuff is pretty new to me. And now we also have the voice over utility. Oh, it queued it actually. Yep, it tried opening, but it queued it automatically. And that's actually pretty sad because we can't take a look on so many awesome stuff. And Sherlock is a pretty basic thing. So toolbar, my channels. Yep, this Sherlock thing is kind of different. And in fact, the macOS 10 Tiger was the only OS version which had End Sherlock and the spotlights right in the top right corner. So now let's poke around the system itself for a while. Developer, applications, Java tools, jar bundler. You cannot open jar bundler because it may be damaged or incomplete. I wonder why. Let's hit OK. Now let's go up the root. Installers. Packages. Oh, it's actually trying to load something. No idea if it's gonna find something or not, but it seems to be a little longer than I expected it to be. So let's just get out of this folder because nothing good shines to be. So now let's go to System Library, Core Services. There's actually one pretty cool trick, and apparently it doesn't work here. So let's simply go through Library. I thought we're actually gonna get the nice
core services folder. So in the modern macOS versions, if you go to the core services folder and open up the components of the core types.bundle file, you're going to get access to some of the icons inside the macOS. So I hope to find these in this OS, but I actually couldn't. And I find that pretty sad. So, but I'm pretty sure we forgot about one thing. Apparently on the CD we used to install this OS, there's some information out there. Let's enter that in here. Yep, it's loading the city. Yep, so this is the install macOS and server logo. Documentation. Server acknowledgements, V05 acknowledgements. Let's check this first. Oh. Apache Software Foundation. Well, Adobe Systems Incorporated. Wow, the VO is actually web objects. Web objects, that was an SDK back in the day which allowed to create some crazy web applications, you know. So let's get out of here. So the first thing we have to read is to read before you install server. Thank you for participating in the testing of Tiger server. Thanks, Apple, for delivering the thank you message like 20 years later. Read the following before you install it. It includes details on macOS and server system requirements, blah, 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 blah. So this is the serial number we entered right in the beginning. It's here, and there is nothing bad in me showing it loud. So, your comments and feedback are appreciated. Registered Apple developers should submit bug reports and a following website. Where's the website? People. Oh, we can actually draw something in here. Do we? I actually enter some text in there. Or drawer. This is the drawer. The drawer actually shows the pages. I assume the web page where Apple's developers. Yep. So you know now in Apple's public beta program we do have something called Feedback Assistant. So this is the utility which helps all the beta testers, including me, to report bugs in the OS. But this thing, I'm not sure if actually is still up. I'm not sure if this thing is actually still up. So we're gonna go to this website. So let's say developer.apple.com/bug reporter. Oh, again, the page you're looking for can't be found. So that's the Apple developer page. Doesn't bring me anywhere, which is pretty sad. Oh, and by the way, I tried walking on the Apple Seed website, but it actually redirects me to the public beta website by Apple. So now let's see system requirements. You must have a server or desktop computer with PowerPC G4, G3, and G5 processor. I actually thought of installing this thing on a Intel-based iMac, which is standing right behind this generous iBOOK G4. So we need also to update my computer's firmware. However, we didn't need to do this. Advice about installing macOS 10 server. Installing without router, erasing and formatting your disk. That's actually a pretty valuable piece of documentation out here because, you know, now we don't have this stuff and we need to research the internet and all these goodies which humanity has nowadays, and also surf around some support networks like AOL or what kids use nowadays. But you have problems starting up. So Apple really cared about the beta testers back in the day, and I'm not sure if this document is present in the install disk of a casual macOS 10, but it is here, and that's actually pretty nice. Yep, 2004 Apple Computer Incorporated, all rights reserved. I'm not sure if it's actually 2004, however, it can be. So now let's queue it out of here. Private. Is it a private Instagram account with some Tinder-based photos? Nope. etc. Yep, the city bumps in because we can open some files which are unopenable. So this is some empty files which cannot be opened on this computer for some reason. So Getty tab. Oh, it actually can be opened. I just didn't know that this actually stood for a text file. But anyway, there's nothing interesting in here. So TMP. Let's see what's inside this body. Yo, buddy. Man, you're loading it for too long. Okay, let's get out of here because we can't get anything. Yo, war. Root, run. Root is running. Samba. What does Samba has to do with the macOS 10 server? I need some explanations down here. So if there's a Reddit community which will take fun of my video, I want you to explain me if what's actually Samba stands for. But while you're talking and taking fun of me, I'm gonna open the folder and yep, it doesn't want to load anything. So now let's close this up and let's go to applications and let's see utilities. Yep, here we go. So we have the network utility here, the thing which is inside the pretty ever install ESD file. In case you don't know, install ESD, that was a thing which actually allowed you to create a bootable installer for a macOS 10 back in the day. So terminal, system profiler, reset password, open firmware password, the disk utility, and the installer itself. So, oh, yeah, this is the package installer, the pretty basic stuff. Nothing special about this. Let's queue you, buddy. Queued. Okay, I'm gonna force queue you because I see you don't really want to queue. Let's queue the system profiler because we don't need you. So let's close these windows. So let's see dev. The dev folder, this stands for developer, as far as you all understood. So no idea if it actually has something inside. So migration tools. About migration tools. About migration tools for macOS 10 server. Migrating from macOS 10 server 1.2. To migrate from macOS 10 server 1.2, use the macOS 10 server 1.2 export tool. That's right here. So apparently the macOS 10 server 1.2 was with the very first version of macOS 10 server. And if you want to migrate from macOS 10 server 10.10 or later, or Apple Share IP 6.3 or later, you needed to read the instructions providing in upgrading the macOS 10 server, which can be found and downloaded from macOS 10 migration. But this address is no longer up because the macOS 10 domain and server domain is no longer at Apple. So now let's get out of here and let's close that window. Other installs. macOS 10 server install package Xcode tools. Let's see actually what does that stand for. I actually have a spare Xcode developer preview install city, but we're gonna do that the installation in one of the next videos because I want to concentrate more on the server OS here. So the Xcode 2.0 preview. So let's just click for a while. Yep, Xcode 2.0 preview. Xcode 2.0 preview includes many new features and bug fixes. Highlights include Xcode now supports dead code stripping build binaries. So as you may see, we have a lot of text down there. We won't go down every single thing in here because, man, I'm not good in software development and then some of the stuff I'm not really familiar with. The developer documentation has been moved from developer/documentation to developer/ADC reference library and no longer includes PDF versions of the documents. Buddy, what? This is the PDF version. PDF is still available for download from the ADC website. See the documentation release notes for details. That seems odd, you know? Because I'm reading the PDF document, which is taken directly from the CD. Okay, let's cute preview. Packages. So what are here? Bluetooth SDK, developer tools, Firewire SDK, and Core Audio. Yo, there's a lot of stuff in here. WebKit, macOS 10, 10.2.8. I assume this is the SDKs for different macOS 10 versions. So we have the Java 14, and we have then 10.4, 10.3, 10.2.8 PKGs out there. So now let's poke around the system folder, because usually there's a lot of stuff hiding in there. In the installation folder, nothing pretty much. So there are some applications like installer log and some proprietary software. But if we go to the library, core services, and control click on core types and click show package contents, go to contents, and there we go to resources. Yeah, there we find a lot of freaking stuff in there. So for example, let's start with the beginning. ADC reference library. Yep, these are these pretty nice books out there. Yeah, Apple used to invest a lot more in design back in the day. Alert stop icon. Yep, this is this icon we see in macOS even today. Apple logo icon. Oh, this is the nice macOS 9 logo. I don't know why that hell is actually in the server install folder. Now let's go a little down. CDR, CD audio volume icon. That looks... Oh. Clipping sound. Yup. So apparently this is the folder with all the icons inside the installer and inside the image. So executable binary. This is this nice terminal icon. File vault Finder icon. Yup. Hey, buddy. I like Finder. Finder is always smiling. And I don't like when a Finder is sad. Yeah, Finder. This is a good buddy. Hello, Finder. So, mounted badge. Oh, again, the macOS 9 logo. Magnet to optical. Yeah, this is actually a floppy disk. Memory stick. Oh. That seems to be a nice image. So let's cute out of here. So we have a lot of icons in here. So I don't know if we can use them in macOS so to actually rescan the entire system. But what we can do is actually see close how Apple used to invest in designing back in the day. Smart folder. Oh, we actually had smart folders back there. Yep, we did, people. So you know the smart folders which sort files by specific criteria. So that is pretty much startup folder. Oh, again the macOS 9 thing. Sort ascending. Toolbar music folder. Yep, still. Unlocked icon. And the Xserve RAID is something I really want to see. Yep, it's actually the Xserve. In one of my recent short videos, I talked about this thing, so I highly recommend you to check out the video, because that's actually a pretty cool one. So, the Xserve RAID, we're gonna say goodbye to you, because we're gonna go back to the install folder. So, nothing pretty much. So we took a look at every single thing inside the macOS 10 server and in the install disk. The only thing we can do though is actually just open up the components of the installer itself by control clicking on the installer and clicking to show package contents. Contents again, macOS Classic. Oh, we actually could open up in Classic. Oh, yeah, in the beginning I said about Classic Startup not working here, but actually it does work there. Classic cannot find a macOS 9 system folder on the startup disk to use. Cute. So I actually have a spare macOS 9 install CD, not really macOS 9, but additional files installer. So I need just to find it because it's in my storaging spot. Oh, here it comes. So now these are the CDs which actually came with this device when I bought it. So here are 3 CDs. This is the macOS 10 install CD 1, install CD 2, with all the components we do need. And this CD is actually in German because I've been buying this device in Germany. So this is the CD we shall be using. This is the CD which installs additional software and Apple hardware test. So if you need to perform some hardware testing, we can actually make some diagnostics. So the first thing we need to do is to actually eject the disk. Yep, here we go, bud. We're gonna put you here for a while. And now we're gonna take our nice additional software install CD and insert it right inside. Yep, here it comes. So don't worry for it being in German because, yep. So let's go through all the installation steps. Continue. We're gonna select the icon, which selected automatically. Customize, classic support. So now it's gonna create the install the macOS 9 on this computer, so we can actually boot it in the classic mode. So later, when in one of the future episodes, I'll be installing the 10.3, so the Panther will be installed on this computer, and apparently the installation is finished, which is actually pretty fast. So now let's eject the additional software installs CD. Yep, let's eject the stuff. So now let's get back. So let's control click on our install macOS server, contents, macOS Classic, and here we go. Install macOS server, macOS 10 server, sorry. Some people still used to say macOS Xserve. Oh, open classic preferences. Searching for new folders. No classic system folder. That actually seems pretty weird. Let's go to Finder. Let's create a new window. Let's go to Macintosh HD, Applications, macOS 9, Acrobat Reader. It's in there, bud. There's no volume with the macOS 9 system for Classic E to use. Well, that's pretty weird. I'm not gonna lie. So maybe this is an issue because this is a server and that CD is for stable macOS release. I was born at Sun 7. I didn't really do some vintage installation stuff before. So we can't really use the vintage application to install the macOS 10 server. But we can actually test it out on the macOS 9, which is on the dual USB iBOOK 3, which is on my left. But we won't do this today because this will take hours to be done. So, people, basically this is the entire macOS 10 server because there's nothing much in here, so we can't really tinker with the OS because we couldn't connect to the internet, and that's pretty sad. So now let's queue out of the system preferences. So,
thank you everybody for watching my long videos and my short videos because you're making a great job, people, and we're becoming more popular. So, don't forget to subscribe, share them with your friends so more people know about our channel. And also don't forget to visit our website. And also don't forget to visit our website because there is a lot of installers to download in case you want to tinker with old macOS system software. So, let's call it a day. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.